dear students, I welcome you in this new session of Mechanical Properties of Fluid. This is the second chapter of your syllabus. So in this chapter we are basically learning the properties of fluids. Now let's start this session. Firstly, we must know what does mean the fluid. It is assumption that liquid means fluid. Okay, so not only liquid means fluid, the thing which can flow, it is fluid. Then it can be air, then it can be liquid. Okay, so any substance that can be, okay, one second. Any substance that can flow is called as fluid. So a fluid is a substance that deforms continually under the action of external force. Means the one external force will apply that will help that fluid to flow. This fluid is a phase of matter that includes liquid, gases and plasma. Now plasma is somewhat new for you. Actually, basically what we study, roughly there are three states of matter: liquids, gases and solids. But plasma is the fourth state of matter. You need to understand it. Now this plasma is also considered as fluid. So basically liquid, gases and plasma are called as fluid. A substance that has no fixed shape is easily to external pressure, a gas or especially a liquid. So this is the another definition for fluid. So if the fluid can be asked for 1 mark, define fluid, so you need to write this: a fluid which can flow, a substance that can flow, or you can write this definition: a substance that has no fixed shape, is easily to the external pressure, means external pressure के साथ वो easily flow होता है, that is called as fluid. Okay, some examples of fluid in front of you: water, air, blood, mercury, honey, gasoline, molten lava and any other gas or liquid. A fluid flows under the action of a force or a pressure gradient. Now here, similar to the heat, it flows from hot junction to cold junction, and it is the fluid flows from higher pressure gradient to the lower pressure gradient. So this is the fluid, okay, under the action of force or a pressure gradient. Now pressure gradient means the difference of pressure between two junctions. Now the ideal fluid will have some properties. That ideal fluid will be incompressible, means its density is constant. Okay, its flow is irrotational, its flow is smooth, there are no turbulence in the flow. It is non-viscous. Viscous means the viscosity or the lubricity we say, there is no internal friction in the flow. The fluid has no viscosity. This is the property of ideal fluid, but ideal fluid is somewhat the theoretical concept we can say, because it says that fluid should be non-viscous. But here we have seen that honey is a fluid. Okay, that means honey is fluid but not ideal fluid. Honey is having viscosity. Okay, so try to understand this. This is the property of ideal fluid, and its flow is steady. Its velocity at each point is constant in time. So this means the ideal fluid properties. Now see, what is the difference between solid and fluid? We know the solid will have definite shape, it has definite volume. Okay, it will show some changes when the external forces are applied on it. So there are basic difference between solid and fluid. Let's see one by one. The solid can be subjected to the shear stress as follows. Now stress is nothing but the force upon area. In shear stress, the shape of the solid gets changes over here. So this is the diagram for shear strain. We have studied shear stress, shear strain, and all this in elasticity in chapter, in 11th class elasticity chapter. So this shear stress can be seen in terms of solid. Then solid opposed to the shear strain either by developing a restoring force. We know that what is meant by restoring force. Restoring force is the force developed inside the solid. It tries to oppose the deformation by external force. So deformation means the change in shape. Okay, when the deformation happens in terms of solid, it tries to oppose it by producing the restoring force inside it. So these are the properties of solids. Now let's see the properties of fluid. In ideal fluid, on the other hand, can only be subjected to normal compressive stress called pressure. Okay, most fluids offer a very weak resistance to the deformation. अगर मतलब deformation के लिए it provides very weak resistance. Okay, just like solid, it provides a large deformation with the help of restoring force. But here weak resistance to the deformation means this fluid can easily change their shape. They do not oppose deformation, they get permanently deformed. अगर आप water किसी vessel में डालो उसको उसका shape आ जाएगा. आप किसी गैस को सिलेंडर में अगर आप उसको फिल करते हो तो उसको उसका शेप आ जाएगा. अगर हनी को आप किसी एक जार से निकाल के दूसरे जार में रखो तो what will happen? It will take the shape of that particular jar. That means the deformation can be happen easily in terms of fluid as compared to the solid. Now they have ability to flow. They have ability to take shape of the container. Just what I explained. A fluid exhibits these properties because it cannot oppose to shear stress. मतलब the basic difference in solid and fluid is the fluid have not show any oppose to the shear stress when it is in static equilibrium. Now fluid at rest. Rest means static position. The branch of physics which deals with the properties of fluid at rest is called as hydrostatic. Now, hydro means liquid or water or fluid, and static means it is related to the rest position. Now, in these few sections, we will consider some of the properties of fluid at rest. Now, first property of fluid is pressure. A fluid at rest exerts a pressure on the surface of contact. Okay, a fluid at rest exert a force on surface of contact. Suppose यहाँ एक ड्रॉप है जो टेबल पे यहाँ पे है. सपोज एक ड्रॉप हमने डाला है वाटर का, तो what will happen? Suppose it is in rest position. What will happen? It will exert some force on that particular surface of contact of that particular table. The surface may be wall or the bottom of the open container of the fluid. A normal force F exerted by the fluid at rest per unit surface area of the contact is called as pressure. That means pressure is the ratio of force upon area. Okay, force which is exerted by the fluid, and area, it is the area of contact of that surface. So this is nothing but the pressure F upon A. The SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square. Obviously pressure, force is measured in Newton, area is measured in meter square. So the SI unit for pressure is Newton per meter square. Also 1 Newton per meter square can be called as 1 Pascal. So Pascal is another unit given after the scientist's name. The dimension of pressure is L minus 1 M1 T minus 2. So pressure is a scalar quantity. Other common units of measuring pressure of gas are bar or torr. Okay, Pascal, Newton per meter square, bar and torr. All these are the units for measuring the pressure. Now 1 bar is equals to 10 to the power 5 Newton meter Newton meter square, Newton per meter square. So this is nothing but the relationship between 1 bar and the 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. Now 1 hectopascal means it is 100 pascal. Now what is the relationship between pressure and area? As we saw here, pressure is inversely proportional to area. Means pressure increases, area decreases, or area increases, pressure decreases. Now see how this is useful in our daily life. The relationship between pressure and area is that pressure and area are inversely proportional to each other. Okay, then is when area decreases, pressure exerted on that area increases. When the area increases, pressure exerted on that area decreases. Now see, अगर हमारे पास ये hammer है, तो we can easily with the help of this hammer we can easily knock this nail. Okay, this nail is having this area. Suppose the area this much bigger object, we can't put it into the wall. Okay, so this smaller area will help us to create the large pressure. In spite of that, here this object, the large pressure is not allowing this large area is not allowing to give the pressure which is useful. Okay, so here you can see the sharp edge means less area. अगर edge sharp नहीं है तो cutting में problem होगा. Now we need to understand one derivation which is pressure due to liquid column. Okay, in this we need to understand this. This is the cylinder or this is the beaker having water. Okay, in this water we need to assume that suppose this is one cylindrical area we have assumed. Imagine करना है आपको कि एक छोटा सा area हमने assume किया है. This cylinder is having this much height. H is the height. And A is the area of cross section of that particular cylinder. Now see, a vessel is filled with a liquid. Let us calculate the pressure exerted by an imaginary cylinder of cross sectional area A inside the container. अब imagine करिए कि ये particular cylinder how much pressure it gives exerted. Now let the density of fluid be R and the height of the imaginary cylinder pH as shown in the figure. Now the liquid column exerts a force mg which its weight of the bottom cylinder. Now this liquid column exert force F. F is the force mass into gravity. Okay, which is its weight. इसका जो weight है वही है ये liquid का weight. On the bottom of the cylinder, ये जो पूरा liquid है, it is exerting some force over here at the bottom. This force acts in the downward direction. Okay, this force acts in the downward direction just because of gravitational force. Therefore, the pressure P exerted by the liquid on the bottom of the cylinder. Now let's calculate the pressure with the help of area and force. Now we know that pressure is equal to force upon area, and force is nothing but the weight of that liquid mg and A is area. Now m अगर mass हमें निकालना है तो we know volume of cylinder into density of liquid, because density of liquid rho is equals to mass upon volume. So अगर हमें सिर्फ mass निकालना है तो mass can be calculated as volume of cylinder into density of liquid. Density will be denoted by rho. Here it is not R actually, it is rho. Okay, let's call it as rho. Now AH is the volume of cylinder, area into height into density of liquid means rho is equal to AH rho. Now just putting this AH rho in this equation, P is equals to AH rho into G upon area. Okay. Now this area gets cancelled and we get pressure is equals to height into rho into gravity. That means the pressure is directly depends on the depth or the height. जैसे जैसे आप depth बढ़ती जाएगी, the pressure will increases. Okay. The pressure P due to liquid density rho at depth h below the free surface is h rho g. So this is the relationship between pressure and depth, you can say, or height or density and gravity. Note that the pressure does not depend on the area of imaginary cylinder used to deriving this expression. Now here you can see there is no role of area of that particular imaginary cylinder. One thing you need to remember here, as P is equals to H rho G, the pressure exerted by the fluid at rest is independent of shape and size of the container. Okay, shape and size of the container does not matter over here. And P is equals to H rho G is true for liquid and as well as for gases. So these two things you need to keep in mind, which are important. Now we need to solve two examples. Let's start. Two different liquids of density rho 1 and rho 2. We have considered two liquids which has density rho 1 and rho 2 exert the same pressure at a certain point. Okay, pressure is same for both. What will be the ratio of height of the respective liquid columns? Means यहाँ पे हमें H1 और H2 का रेशो फाइंड आउट करना है. अब सब पकड़िए कि जो पहला लिक्विड है जिसकी डेंसिटी rho 1 है उसकी हाइट है H1. Okay, and the pressure exerted by the first liquid is rho 1 is equals to P1 is equals to H1 rho 1 G. Now G is constant everywhere, it will be same. Okay, similarly this let H2 be the height of the liquid of density rho 2, then the pressure exerted by the liquid of density rho 2 is P2 is equals to H2 rho 2 G. G will be same. Okay, both liquid exert the same pressure, therefore P1 is equal to P2. Now one condition is provided to us that P1 is equal to P2. Here we can equate this H1 rho 1 G is equals to H2 rho 2 G, or we can say that because we have asked to find out the ratio, that's why H1 upon H2 is equals to rho 2 upon rho 1. अगर अल्टरनेटिव मेथड आपको फाइंड आउट करनी है तो फॉर अ गिवन वैल्यू P is equals to H rho G is constant and G is constant, so that height is inversely proportional to the density of liquid. In this case, since pressure is constant, height is inversely proportional to the density of liquid. Okay, the answer will be same. Now the next example is a swimmer is swimming in a swimming pool at 6 meters below the surface of the water. 6 meters is height. Height is nothing but the depth is given over here. Okay. Calculate the pressure on the swimmer due to the water above. Now density of water we know that 1000 kilogram per meter cube and G is 9.8 meter per second square. One thing you need to keep in mind that each and every quantity you use in solving the numerical, it should be in SI unit. Now let's start solving it. H means 6 meter, which is given. Rho we know that. G is also we know that. Okay, P is equals to H rho G. So put 6 in place of H. Then putting all these values, we get the answer 5.88 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. Okay, which is nearly 6 times of the atmospheric pressure. So this is nothing but the how to solve this problem. Now what is mean by atmospheric pressure? अब हमें पता है कि we are living on the earth. Okay, और earth के surrounding वायुमंडल है. वायुमंडल is nothing but the all air, all gases we are surrounded. Okay, we are surrounded. Now these gases or this atmosphere exerts some pressure on earth. Okay, earth's atmosphere is made up of fluid, namely air. It exerts a downward force due to its weight. अब air को अपना weight है, इसलिए what it will do, it will exert some downward force, okay, due to its weight. The pressure due to this force is called as atmospheric pressure. Thus, at any point, the atmospheric pressure is the weight of column of air of unit cross section starting from that point and extending to the top of the atmosphere. Okay, it will start from the point, okay, and extending to the top of the atmosphere. Now clearly the atmospheric pressure is highest at surface of the earth. अगर surface पे देखा जाए तो atmospheric will be greater, that is at the sea level, and decreases as we go above the surface as the height of column of air above decreases. Okay, मतलब surface पे atmospheric pressure will be high as long as we go upward the from the surface, the atmospheric pressure started decreasing. Now what does mean that normal atmospheric pressure? Now see, this is the atmosphere surrounding to the earth and it is exerting some pressure on earth. So the atmospheric pressure at sea level is called as normal atmospheric pressure. So this is the, what we can say, we can consider the sea level as a standard atmospheric pressure, normal atmospheric pressure. The density of air in the atmosphere decreases with increase in the height. Because negligible beyond a height of about 8 kilometers, so that height of air column producing atmospheric pressure at sea level can be taken to be 8 kilometers. The region where gas pressure is less than atmospheric pressure is called as vacuum. Okay, the perfect or absolute vacuum is when no matter, that is no atoms or molecules are present. So this is the meaning of vacuum. Usually vacuum refers to the condition when the gas pressure is considerably smaller than atmospheric pressure. Now this is the diagram to illustrate the meaning of lower pressure and higher pressure. Now see, nearer to the surface we experience the higher pressure, और जैसे जैसे हम हिल के ऊपर जाए तो हमें लो प्रेशर मिलेगा. ओके, जैसे हम ट्रेकिंग के लिए जाते हैं तो हमें थोड़ा सा अनईजी होता है बिकॉज एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर ओवर देयर विच इज वेरी लो. ओके, नाउ दिस इज द मॉलिक्यूल्स, दिस इज द एयर मॉलिक्यूल्स वी कैन से, dense air molecules we can see over here. So the pressure exerted by this is will be greater. So these molecules contribute to the pressure at this altitude. Okay, यहाँ तक ये वाला काम करेगा. And these molecules contribute to the pressure at this altitude. Okay, so this is the surface air pressure is equal to weight of air in column above area, above unit area. Now one instrument we need to know about is barometer. Now barometer is used for measuring the atmospheric pressure at different points on the earth. Okay, अगर हमें अर्थ पे मेजर करना है कि यहाँ पे कितना एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर है या फिर वहाँ पे कितना है, तो we can use this barometer. Okay, this barometer is having mercury as a working substance. Now this is the atmospheric pressure, this is the height of air column. जितना mercury ऊपर चढ़ेगा it will show the atmospheric pressure over here. Now one atmospheric pressure is nothing but the 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. This is the one atmospheric pressure, and this is about the instrument which is used to calculate the atmospheric pressure at different levels. Now one important type of pressure we need to understand over here, the absolute pressure and the gauge pressure, then we'll see the vacuum pressure. Now the simplest way to explain the difference between two types of pressure, that is absolute pressure. Okay, this absolute pressure will use this absolute zero as its 0 point, means we will start calculating the absolute pressure from this point, and while gauge pressure will start this from this point. Okay, due to varying atmospheric pressure the gauge pressure measurement is not precise. अगर एब्सोल्यूट प्रेशर हम यहाँ से मेजर करना शुरू करते हैं तो गेज प्रेशर हम यहाँ से मेजर करना शुरू करते हैं. सो दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन गेज प्रेशर एंड एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर. And we are going to see about the relationship between this gauge pressure and atmospheric pressure in the next session. Okay, let's rewind the things what we have studied in this session. So we have studied about the fluid. The fluid can be liquid, gas, okay, which can be flow, and it will show very weak resistance to the deformation. These are the examples we have seen about fluid. Then we have seen about the properties of ideal fluid. Then we have seen between the difference between solid and fluid. Then the first property of fluid which is at rest, we have seen the pressure. We have seen the relationship between pressure and area. One more assignment I need to give you here. You just enlist the daily life examples where this pressure and area works. Okay, just enlist some examples over here. Then we have derived the relationship between this pressure due to a liquid column, which is the liquid imaginary column. Now we need to remember these 2 points, that this equation is for liquid and gases as well. Then the shape and size of the container doesn't have any relationship between the pressure. Then we have solved 2 numericals. Then we have seen about the atmospheric pressure. Then normal pressure we have seen about. The barometer we studied. Then we have seen about the difference between gauge pressure and absolute pressure. मतलब absolute pressure मतलब क्या होता है, यहाँ पे atmospheric pressure जहाँ पे है वो वहाँ से gauge pressure उसको correspond करके अगर measure करे तो ये है हमारा gauge pressure. और absolute pressure means it is the sum of gauge pressure plus atmospheric pressure. Okay, so this is you need to understand. So this is for the today. Okay, we'll meet in the next session. This is the first session of mechanical properties of fluid, and many more sessions we are going to make on this topic. So I hope you understood this. Bye. Goodbye.